あ自己紹介から始めた方がいいかな。Okay, so we can just start with introducing ourselves. Can you just introduce yourself? Go for it.
Okay, so I'm Tara French. I'm Isaiah's mom, and I have been a preschool special education teacher for 18 years.
保育士をして18年間。はい。Go for it. Go for it.
Oh, I was just going to say I currently have been working for Long Beach Unified School District for the past 10 years.
だからロングビーチに学区があって、でそこに10年間ずっと勤めてきてます。はい。Okay. Go ahead, Ma.
And I had an interest in the field because I worked with children as a young age as a volunteer.
若い頃からボランティアとして教育で子供と接することがきっかけで、子供と関わりたいっていう、気持ちになった。
Master's in Credential in Early Childhood Special Education to work with students that needed me the most.
自分の子供を産んでからもう一回大学に通いたくて、でそこに、博士号と、教員免許を取った。
すごい。かっこいい。
Wonderful, amazing, she's saying. So, はい。どうぞ自己紹介したければ。さちこさんでいいですかね。
さっちゃん。
さっちゃん。You can call her さっちゃん。さっちゃん。With the M on the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
はい、OK。で、私は今障害ある子どもたちとシェフがお料理をする放課後等デイサービス施設の管理者をしています。4年目。
Okay, so she's been there for 4 years.
そして保育士になって20年。
She's been a educator in the field for 20 years now.
で、13年間保育園。
For 13 years she worked in like what is it? Childhood education.
で、保育園に行けない子どもたちのがいるって気がついて。
And then she realized that even at that stage in early childhood education, there were certain children who weren't allowed to be in those facilities or in those spaces. 聞きたいのは、年齢とか何歳から今働いてるんですか？
私が行くところにいる子どもたち。
あ、そうです。
産後、赤ちゃんが多かった。なぜなら、お母さんたちが赤ちゃんを産んだ後に引きこもったり、うつになったり。
So she would work with children like babies, essentially just birth, and she would essentially work together with the families. After women give birth, they can generally go through a period of depression or, kind of like retrieving from society. So she wanted to serve that community.
Yeah, well, tell her that is so wonderful, and we have the same kind of heart.
それは素晴らしくて、母と幸子さんの心は一緒やなって思います。
私はお母さんを元気にしたくて保育をしに家庭に行ってたんですが、テラさんはお母さん、お母さん支援
をしてるか。
私は思ってるんですが、どんな活動をされてるんですか？
そうですね。Okay, so, Sachiko-san generally, she wanted to help mothers essentially who after giving birth, have those situations of depression and things like that. So she was saying, what type of work do you do with mothers or, in education, where is your focus essentially?
In the school system, I basically deal with the students in the classroom, and then I will call the families, like to give them progress on their child, how they're progressing. You know, we might have to meet for their IEP to talk about different goals, but I really don't come in contact with the families often.
はい。Thank you. Okay, so だから母はそんなにファミリーと会うよりも、授業の中でこう子どもたちと接して、で例えば、IEP って何個別指導計画とかをもとにこうその子どもたちのニーズに合った、サービスとか教え方を主に、しております。
私も、今のお料理をしている施設では、個別支援計画、ニーズに合った一人一人の計画を立てています。バーチャルで難しいことは、
その電波が悪かったり、子供たちをこう集中、なんていうかな、その集中力をなんていう高めるのって難しい。その子供たちが。だから子供たちの視点からしたら、なんていう、その映している人がまるでテレビのように見てるから、こうレッスンの認識があまりないっていうのがありますね。
私も。
Sachiko was saying like it's the same for her. You know what you're saying is very similar. What were you saying for the families?
For the families, for some it can be difficult if they're like having to work because the children are so young. They need an adult with them to help them to get online.
あとファミリーメンバー、例えば母か父がこう仕事をしながら子供の面倒をしないといけない状態だと、それは余計に難しくなるし、他の大人がいるんだけどいないとそれがまあ余計に難しくなる。
そうですね。日本の場合は文化もあって女性の方が子育てにすごく関わる傾向があるので、働くお母さんが今とても困っている。支援学校といって、本当に障害者が行く学校も選べますし、目が見えない子たちの学校、耳が聞こえない子たちの学校選べるんだけど、アメリカはどうですか?
So in Japan, there are different types of schools, specialty schools, either for the blind or for the deaf or for certain types of disabilities, but are there, and students can choose which type of school to go to. But do you know if there's any of that in the States?
So they do have schools for the blind. They do have schools for the deaf, but usually they try and keep children. That's usually like for kids that are older or maybe that are very involved, you know, visually or hearing wise. But if the child is able to have like sign language or visual icons and things, and they can still make it in that general setting, or then the child stays there in a less restrictive environment.
だから、まあアメリカではそのもちろんその目が見えないとか耳が聞こえない、学校もあるんですけど、その障害者の子どもたちは、ある程度というかその何かを使って、一般の授業に参加できていたら、こう手話の方とかに頼んで、そういうふうになんか一般教育を受けるのが、基準。
だから日本と重なる部分もたくさんありましたね、今
日。She was saying out of the things that she's heard in this conversation, there are a lot of things that overlap between the United States and Japan's education system.
私の考えは、そんなに分けなくてもいいと思う。社会は結局ごちゃごちゃになるから、学校でたくさん 枠を作ってルールを作っていても、
うん
社会に出た時にみんな一緒になるから、
あ
子供の時から、
なるほど結局なるほど
一緒にしたい。
she was saying, you know, she thinks it's not that necessary to have so many divisions in terms of how you split the children up, because at the end of the day, when they head into society, there aren't all those types of divisions set up for them. So, you know, she thinks it's important as much as possible to kind of, you know, keep it not uniform, but you know, a space where learning happens together.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
その言っている話は、そうですね。
嬉しい。そういう共感してくださる人がいることが、私の元気になります。
She's glad.
Well, tell her likewise. Tell her likewise. It is good to get feedback, to get an understanding.
聞いてでこう話し合うのはとっても
Of the similarities and the differences, and how you can make things better. And tell her I'm very happy too to meet her and to talk with another fellow educator.
お会いできてすごい嬉しくて、同じなんていう異業種じゃない反対同業種の方と話すのがとってもありがたい、特別。
Tell her I love what she's doing with the cooking, with the families and the children, and just the special things that she's doing. Thumbs up.
だから幸子さんの活動って特に料理を作ったり、その子供のために居場所を作るのはとってもなんていう尊敬するって。Thank you very much.
The last thing I want to tell her is thank her for taking such good care of my son and being a friend to my son and helping my son while he's there in Japan.
最後に言いたいのは息子の僕が日本にいながらこう友達になってくれて面倒見てでもそういうなんていうお世話とかしてるの。
私が助けてもらっているから。
He helps me. She's saying that like I help her in so many things. So she's really just so.
That's the beauty of us learning how to work with each other, because it doesn't matter about our skin. It matters about the heart that's within.
だから人種とか肌の色とかは関係ない。結局心の心が大事だから。
見えない部分。
見えない部分が。
結局はつながってる。
The parts that you can't see physically, you know, are the things that help us to connect. So, yeah, she's really thankful.
今日ね、皆さんにもらった言葉、私は人がしないことをしているかもしれないですけど、もっと伝えていこうと思いました。
So she's saying that, you know, she does things that aren't typical in Japan, that aren't, you know, necessarily well received or accepted, but she wants to, right, but she wants to have her, you know, her activities and things that she's involved with become a model case to eventually, you know, bring about change in Japan. So she really appreciates hearing from you, learning from you, and being able to, you know, learn from your experience.
Well, tell her I will definitely be praying for her, because change can be difficult, and when you are on the front line and a trailblazer like her, it doesn't always feel good, but the outcome is what is most important.
幸子さんみたいな最前線当てるのかな。
わかんないけど、
なんていうもっとも前にいる人たち、そのなんていうかな、戦争とかの時に一番前にいる人ってその立場って不愉快、そのなんていう何かを変えようとする立場にいるのがとても不愉快だと思うので、幸子さんのためになんか応援してるし、常に祈ってますっていう。
私も同じ思いです。
She feels the same toward you, so thank you.
私もテラさんを応援している。
So she's supporting and praying for you as well.
Because tell her we're all in this together. We're in this together.
みんななんか一緒
ですね。
話です。
ママが元気でいてくださいって。
So please take care, you know, and recover and all those things is what she says. Yeah. Thumbs up.
いっぱい出たね、これ。
Yeah. Go ahead.